Hello, future millionaires. This is Aztec, and this is the CSC. I have been working a lot lately in this market because it's not extremely volatile, and I'm not much of a BitMEX type of guy. Um, I've been working at the hospital, which is one of my other passions in life. So basically, I finally got a day off here, and I kind of want to go over stops. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. Um, Also, at the end of the video, I'll kind of go over Ncash in India. I find this really important because I have to explain where I think things are going and where we're at this point with Ncash. And the only reason I'm taking some time to do that is because I made a video about it, so I have to take ownership of, where this project's at. So to start off, I want to kind of do an extremely general overview of how I use stops. This is not financial advice. This is just what I do. And I just drew it on a napkin here. So I have my bull stop and my bear stop. And yes, it is backwards because I didn't really think about, with the camera how it would look. So someday when I get some time, I'll go ahead and start using my computer instead of my phone to video, and I'll have everything up on the screen and things like that. So, but for now, we're going to use a napkin. It's super simple. So I always start with, when I'm explaining my stops, I start with a bull stop because that's really where you should start your stops. Bull stop is where basically the trajectory of the candles are going upward, and in this case, it's kind of forming a bull flag. So, if you buy at bottoms, which is, if you're going to make buys, you want to buy at a bottom because that is, if you're going to deploy your stops properly, you need to have bought at a bottom so that you're not making, putting in stops and losing money or being stopped out in some cases. So basically, if we bought at a bottom somewhere, down here at some point, let's say a month ago or whatever, this is how I would deploy my bull stop. So basically, if we have your support here and a resistance here, what I would do is I would take profits when the candlesticks are butting up against the resistance level here. So a lot of people take 25 to 50% of their position at this point. That's going to depend on you. No one can really. That's going to be the hardest thing to choose because there is no right or wrong way, and no one knows if it's going to break even further, keep going. I mean, go parabolic or fall directly from here. So basically, people usually start around 25 to 50%. I do 33%. But anyways, I would take profits here when it starts butting up against a key resistance level that you find. And in the case that it breaks that resistance level and starts dancing upon the former resistance level, now support level, I would put my stop just below that resistance level. And I will only do that, I only put it just below that former resistance level, now support level, in the case, I only do that right below, in this case, when it's, the candlesticks have been going upward. And the reason I do that is because if it breaks through this now support level, it's usually going to at least test this next support level. So this is a good area for a stop limit when the candlesticks are going upward. In the reverse of that, you have your bear stop. And this is just what I call the stops. And the reason I call it a bear stop is because the candlesticks are now falling. They're breaking through support levels at this point. And I'm going to look for a key support level. I've already taken profits up here, maybe 33% up here, another you know 25 or another 33% somewhere over here. Because I thought it was going to keep going down. And let's say I only have 25 to 33% of my holding of what I initially had of whatever coin or token. Now that it's falling, I'm going to look for a key support level, and I put my stops when it's falling. I call this a bear stop because the candlesticks are falling. I actually put my support level, or I put my stop a little bit below the support level, and this is definitely different because when it's going up, I put it right below the support level. When it's coming down, I actually put it a little bit below that, because when the candlesticks are falling, and let's say you start getting this dancing action upon a support level, and let's say this is a key support level for whatever coin or token you're looking at, I will put the stop just below that level, because I see this happen a lot in trading. So it'll dance upon the support level and it'll break just underneath the support level, and this usually happens due to bots. They'll just break just to find the liquidity and to stop out a bunch of people, and then it'll pop back upwards from that key support level. So to reduce my risk, I'll put the support just below, because I'll put my support or my stop below everyone else's stops, because if this is a key support level, usually you get this type of action. You get this bounce, it dips right underneath the support level to kind of fake everyone out and pops back up. So what happens is, if you would have put your support or your stop right below it, you would have got stopped out, and then it would have started going upward, and it can leave you behind. So when the candlesticks are going down, I call this a bear stop. I put my stop just below that key support level, and of course, at that point, if you would have, if you put your stop below that key support level, you won't get stopped out, and if it truly hits this low, you probably are going to keep going down even further. So this would be a good spot. So anyways, that's bull stops and bear stops. That's how I deploy my stops. And of course, I always, to make this work for me, I buy at bottoms, and then I always take profits at key resistance levels, and on the way down, I put my stops underneath everyone else's stops, when the candles are capitulating or coming down. And I usually put my stop at that point under a key support level and key stops. So anyways, I hope that helped with how you use your stops. For me, this mitigates a lot of risk. This helps me keep a lot of my profit. And at the point that I take profits, a lot of people are like, well, then what do you do with that? It's just, it's wasted, potential, because what if it keeps going up? Well, I look for, with that profit that I've taken, I look for other coins that I can then place buys in. I buy other lows, and or just hold that in Tether or fiat or what have you, looking for another red day. And it really, at that point, is patience, because you just can't just take your profit and then just throw it into something else that is in the middle of figuring out where it's going, or it's a green day for that coin. I mean, you really have to be patient and find what's going to work. Find another bottom, basically. So, or another really key support level. It's okay to buy in at another key support level, but these are all things that you'll see, and just track what you do and see where you made where you've kept the most of your profits, and you'll start learning, and you'll see that taking profits and putting your stops is going to help you keep a lot of your profits, thus increasing your portfolio. So, anyways, now to India. This is really important to me, guys, because I made a video about Ncash. I was extremely bullish on Ncash because there was I did a lot of research on the project, and there were a lot of indicators that showed that it could have a very bullish future. So I'm not saying that it doesn't at this point. I think the project is exceptional. I think that it's definitely a unicorn coin in the future. I mean, it has the potential to be one. But I do have to bring up something that has happened recently. So India was trying to go through the courts to make it legal to buy cryptocurrencies with their bank accounts, because back in April, that was the courts ruled that they weren't able to any longer, and they were using like P2P type ways of purchasing and trading cryptocurrencies since April. That was the main way, or probably over the counter type ways. And a lot of my contacts said, well, there's a good chance that India could reverse this ban. This, you could call it a ban basically. And if it does reverse the ban, Indian projects like Ncash could definitely have a lot of potential to see some green and a lot more potential in the future bull run. But recently, the markets, or the Indian courts, were hashing out the ban, and unfortunately they ruled again to keep the ban in place. So what I've seen is the fallout, and what's a positive thing is that it didn't create too much FUD and drop the market like a lot of people were suspecting. A lot of my contacts were suspecting. This market has been really strong. It's been moving sideways, but the fallout has been that a pretty big Indian exchange called ZebPay has closed its doors, and you do see a lot of silence from a lot of the Indian projects, including Ncash. So I'm not saying that this is exactly a red flag necessarily, but it is something that you have to know. You have to know, and you have to take that into consideration, because that could hamper its potential in any of the projects there. It's potential. So, I would say because with any of my unicorn type positions, it's always a small part of my portfolio. I would say just keep that in mind and use this information to either look for another unicorn, or just keep the let's say bags that you have, and use your stops, because you never know what future fallouts can be. So use your stops. If you're in Ncash, you're still, especially if you've taken profits, you're still green, which I am. And if you're in Ncash, please use your stops, because you never know with this type of news what can happen. So you never know. A month, 2 months from now, let's say the Indian governments are waiting for future other governments to see how they regulate. They may be looking to see what other governments do before they take action. So it could be a couple months down the road, and all of a sudden they also choose to regulate in a positive way. So not saying sell these type of projects. I'm just saying use your stops. And because I made a video about the Indian markets, I'd like to take ownership of the fact that I was very bullish on those type of projects, and now at this point there are new findings. So I want to bring that to you guys' attention. I'm not going to hide from those things. So I always want to make my channel very transparent and as much as possible. So basically, if you were taking profits, I mean, Ncash has seen some nice pumps lately. If you're putting stop limits in and stops, then you definitely still in the green. So it wasn't a bad choice to go into Ncash, and it's not a bad choice to hold it. It's just that you have to be careful at this point. So, anyways, in general, the market's still heading sideways. It's still making higher lows and lower highs, and we're starting to see the candlesticks coil and get tighter. We're getting towards that towards the end of this triangle where we've seen the candlesticks over the past year kind of do this, and a lot of people are saying we're looking for another huge leg down, kind of like a shakeout. It's possible before a bull run, but like I always say in a lot of my videos since I've started, I'm bullish until the market proves otherwise. And if we're moving sideways, like I've said before, that's a really key. That's really key for the market to go sideways before a bull run. And with all of the fundamentals, like big projects like Coinbase and Bakkt, and all these big companies pouring millions of dollars into the market, to create custodial type projects. I mean, this is these fundamentals are extremely bullish. So if the smart money sees that there's a lot of potential, then I really think that there's potential to see a bull run in the near future. Will that be in October, right before Bakkt comes out? Not necessarily. I think a lot of big money is still waiting to see what other big money does and where regulation will go. I'm still calling for sideways action. So, but I do think that what I can say, and from my contacts, what I can say is that in the next month we will at least know where the market is most likely heading. Because we're going sideways. You go sideways, it can break down, it can break up. Of course, I'm bullish because of all the fundamentals and all the research I've done, but we can only stay in this symmetrical triangle for so long with like Bitcoin, because the market follows Bitcoin, and we can only stay in this symmetrical triangle for so long. So that's really going to kind of show us: are we going to start, sloping upward, producing higher highs, which could potentially give us a bull run in the future, maybe end of this year or beginning of next year? Or are we going to start seeing capitulation and further break down from the symmetrical triangle? So anyways, guys, go ahead and like and subscribe for more information. I want to keep going because unfortunately I haven't been able to make a lot of videos, but I have so much information to give you guys. I am someone that on my off days I do trade with bulls, and I do plan to go a full-time trader whenever the market has more volatility again, and of course I'll have more time to make videos and explain a lot of the knowledge that I have for you guys. But just to be real with you guys again, I am more bullish on big projects than I am small projects for this next bull run, because smart money is moving into the space, and smart money is going to dabble first, I think, with projects that have a lot more potential. So I am the AKA unicorn. My inner circle has dubbed me that, but I'm not necessarily looking for a lot of unicorns right now. It's probably why I haven't given you other ones, because I don't really feel safe about a lot of them. Ncash looked extremely good. It still is a very good project that has made a lot of great headway and made amazing partnerships. But in general, what I'm most bullish on are big projects that have timelines that are going to intersect with the bull market and create massive amounts of speculation. Projects that are very large, already known in the top 10, possibly in the top 20. I'm bullish on these projects because I think that smart money, it has more of a chance to pump a lot of their money into these projects versus the the smaller coins. And what that could produce is death of a lot of the smaller coins. And I'm not saying Ncash, because I think Ncash has a future. I just think that it needs to. I really think it needs to move out of India, to be honest. I think it needs to move to Southeast Asia like it's trying to before it can really pick up traction. But anyways, I think what needs to happen is kind of losing track of where I'm at. Too many points going on, guys. I really just want to sit here and talk with you guys. I should possibly do a live type thing and just have you guys ask questions, because I have too much that I want to talk to you guys about. But I'm more bullish on solid projects. I really am. For this bull run, I see a lot of money being pumped in to the big projects and a lot of small coins dying. And that means that a lot of people's bags are going to die and that they may be forced to sell and jump into the bigger projects. So the bags that I want to hold are bags that are big projects, and there are going to be a very, very slim amount of small projects that I'm going to be looking at. And when I say small projects, I'm not saying small cap or basically like coins or tokens that are only worth pennies. Because of course, like for instance, VeChain, that's worth pennies, but it's a big project. It's in the top 20. So I'm talking about, when I say small projects, I'm talking about projects that are anywhere from, if you go to CoinMarketCap, 200 to 100 rank. That only have, let's say, millions of dollars in their market cap. Those are the coins that I think a lot of these coins are going to die out, because the money is going to be flowing to, I really think, that it's going to be flowing towards the bigger projects, because the smart money is going to be buying up the bigger projects. So anyways, guys, I'm going to have more videos for you guys, hopefully soon. I am going to take a small vacation to do some research. I'm going to be meeting up with some whales in California. So I'm going to be going to the States to talk with them. And hopefully I have more information for you guys. So anyways, guys, go ahead and like and subscribe for more. There's definitely a lot more knowledge I'd like to give you guys. If this is a bottom, this is the place that, if we're moving sideways and this is the bottom, this is the area where you want to go ahead and pick up as much knowledge as you can for the future bull market. Because if you can be in the right spot, every year that I've been in this market, I see new millionaires. And this is the time to go ahead and acquire all that knowledge. So anyways, guys, I do have to go. Hopefully I'll have more for you guys soon. Like and subscribe to be notified of future videos. So anyways, guys, take it easy. I hope you're all faring well.